Start saving for your golden years with a Sagicor Lifestyle Approved Retirement Scheme. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, we track the timeline of events in the report tabling saga in Parliament, capital murder sentencing concerns, and goodbye kiss, a student expelled from St. James High. Also this evening, more water trucks to help keep farmers afloat. In the business report, UWI to rake in millions from real estate project. And in sports, primary champs gets prize money increase. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. I'm Stephen McHugh.
And I'm Carolyn Brown. It's Wednesday, April 24, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, there was a collective sigh of relief on Tuesday following months of heated debate surrounding the Attorney General's opinion on how reports should be tabled in Parliament.
Now, this development follows threats by the People's National Party to bring the government before the courts if the document remained private. CVM News summarizes the journey to this moment in this report.
It all started around June last year. Reports from the Auditor General and the Integrity Commission were being sent but not tabled in the House of Representatives. There were concerns raised by the opposition PNP, civil groups and the Jamaicans at large that parliamentary norm or convention, which is for the reports to be tabled at the earliest convenience, was being ignored. In July, then Speaker of the House Marisa Dalrymple-Philibert made a surprising declaration.
For the Auditor General's report on a public body to be tabled where the minister with responsibility for that public body fails to report to this Parliament within a 2-month period.
A hold was also placed on the immediate tabling of IC reports with instructions that they must first go to the chairman of the Oversight Committee as she awaits further guidance from the Attorney General. Again, despite a back and forth across the parliamentary aisle and ongoing debates in the public, the changes remained. Many argued the move suggested the government had something to hide and was acting in silo. When Juliet Holness took the reins in September, following Dalrymple-Philibert's resignation, she too refused to return to the parliamentary norm of tabling all reports at the first convenience and even added her own twist.
Re-annual reports submitted under Section 36(2). Once the report is submitted to Parliament, it will be sent to the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee for consideration and report. Once the committee has completed its deliberation, both the reports of the committee and the relevant report from the Integrity Commission will be tabled thereafter.
Same is to be applied to special reports from the IC. Again, the PNP requested a copy of the Attorney General opinion, which initially she said was no problem. Not too long after, her stance changed and she argued the opinion was requested by the Speaker and not the Parliament, and so the Speaker had no obligation to share its content.
The opinion sought by the Attorney General from the Attorney General by the Speaker is for the guidance of the Speaker in coming to a determination.
The backlash which ensued lasted months and was creeping out of every sector. With an unexplained about-face, the opinion was released on Tuesday, and it was found that the AG's stance was that there is no rule about when IC reports should be tabled. Regarding Auditor General reports, the entity was instructed to specify under what section of the law the report was done, and that would dictate how it is tabled. Natalia Clark, CVM News.
Meanwhile, just days after the government's last constitutional misstep, Opposition leader Mark Golding is sounding the alarm about another potential blunder. As the government debates amendments to the Child Care and Protections Act, there is concern convicted child killers could end up spending decades behind bars. Here's Ramon Gordon with the details.
Legislators last November agreed to a mandatory minimum sentence of 50 years for adults convicted of capital murder if the death penalty is not imposed. These changes were proposed under a section of the Offences Against the Persons Act as a joint select committee worked to amend multiple pieces of legislation, including the Child Care and Protections Act. In Parliament Tuesday, opposition leader Mark Golding raised the alarm over amendments which could potentially see minors, even those without a prior record, serving extended periods in prison.
That new Section 78, subsection 3A1, says that a person who is an adult at sentencing, but who was a child at the time that the offence was committed, is subject to a penalty of 50 years imprisonment. That's the minimum. It treats a person who offended when they were a child as subject to the same minimum penalty of 50 years imprisonment as a person who committed that offence as an adult.
Golding also questioned the constitutionality of other sections of the bill, specifically Section 78(3)(a)(3), which presumably applies to children 14 years and under. Should the House approve current amendments, those minors would also have to serve 50 years in prison, spending 20 before the possibility of parole.
50 years is a very, very long time. These provisions in the new Section 78 are arguably incompatible with the right of every child to such measures of protection as are required by virtue of the status of being a minor. I'm concerned that the new Section 78 violates the Constitution.
Advocates have long argued against mandatory minimum sentences for children. Last year, in an interview with the CVM News, Executive Director at Stand Up Jamaica, Carla Golota, urged the government to rethink the move.
We are getting panic due to the fact that crime is a serious problem for Jamaica and everybody feels it. We are looking at the fact that crime needs to be finding solutions, but not solutions which are not solutions.
Golding points to greater concern with mandatory minimum sentences. He argues such requirements restrict the courts and may disincentivize guilty pleas.
We have not, in this legislation, excluded the plea bargaining act. And one of the good things about high sentence, it might encourage most of them to plead guilty, which is what happened in the United States.
A vicious serial killer is at one end, and then you have at the other end a youngster who gets into bad company and does something stupid. One can be rehabilitated.
Debate on the matter is ongoing, with the sectoral debate expected to kick off officially next Tuesday. Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining Floyd Green was the key speaker at the post-cabinet press briefing on Wednesday. In his address, the minister highlighted issues affecting each portfolio. Here's Celine Campbell with the highlights.
2 more water trucks will be revved up later this week to service farming communities in St. Elizabeth and St. Catherine. That's according to Minister of Agriculture Floyd Green. The water trucks are being added to the 5,000-gallon water truck handed over in St. Ann last Friday. The minister notes that roughly $15 million investment will bring relief to some 4,000 rural farmers. Recently, the government budgeted $90 million to help farmers counter the prevailing drought conditions. From that, $8 million will be allocated to livestock farmers.
We will be providing some hay, we will be providing some trucking of water to you. Again, our livestock farmers, if you are in need, please contact RADA and let's see how we can help in these times.
Meanwhile, St. Ann is closer to getting the industrial park the minister promised. It will feature warehouses and agro-processing facilities. The park is a part of a $445 million project scheduled to last about a year.
This industrial park will be developed in southeast St. Ann on lands that were formerly owned by Reynolds. It used to be a Reynolds industrial park. Clearly, with Reynolds not operating for decades, it has fallen into ruin. we are going to revitalize that. So we'll be doing warehousing, we'll be looking to position that area as a pathway to economic prosperity. We do see an employment factor of about 100 jobs directly, and this is just phase one.
The fisheries minister reminds the public that it's now in the close season for lobster. The season runs from April 1 to June 30.
There is a maximum fine of $3 million or 2 years in prison if you are caught with lobsters during this period, and if you possess tails from undersized or buried lobsters, again, that is strictly prohibited. And we want an all of society approach. So please, if you go to a restaurant and they're serving lobster during this time, contact the NFA.
The National Fisheries Authority, NFA, is in charge of protecting and conserving the nation's fisheries resources. Celine Campbell for CVM News.
There's more to come from CVM News at 7 after this break.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart and Estate Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
You know the theme song, where everybody knows your name. That's how I feel when I walk into Sagicor Bank.
It's not just about going there and depositing your money or withdrawing. It's good to have a relationship.
They offer a range of options in terms of, financing and supporting the cash flow needs of businesses.
They customize packages and they ensure that everything that you need to expand and get to the next level, they're right there with you, holding your hand.
Sagicor Bank took my business from 0 to 100 really quickly.
To have a banker that has a vision that can add to and accentuate and enhance the dreams that you have makes a world of difference.
You are the reason we have given more than $40 million to support small and medium-sized businesses. Sagicor Bank, moving Jamaica forward, supporting growth, supporting Jamaica.
Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday, courtesy of
elife.sagicorjamaica.com.
Welcome back. In a bid to foster collaboration and enhance educational outcomes, Dr. Kassan Troop, who is the Permanent Secretary in the Education Ministry, is urging principals to work hand in hand with their teachers. She was addressing stakeholders at a Trend stakeholder session. Trisha Gay Kelly has the details.
In a stirring address at the Trend Stakeholders session, Dr. Kassan Troop emphasized the pivotal role of principals in creating a conducive environment for effective teaching and learning. She urged principals to step into collaborative roles with their teaching staff, highlighting the importance of mutual support and shared goals.
So colleagues, part of the transformation is for us to have this team approach. And I know you can appreciate this because you have had to talk like this with your staff. Because you have to generate the team spirit within your school to make it happen. Because as the principal of that ship, you cannot do it alone. And so if you start to talk to your staff like my school, you're going to have a problem with a shared vision. So I cannot come and say my ministry, because I don't own the ministry. It will live on without me sometime, and like you.
Dr. Troop emphasized the need for principals to be visible leaders, actively participating in professional development sessions and classroom activities. She stressed that a cohesive leadership approach where principals work hand in hand with teachers leads to a more enriching educational experience for students.
We cannot approach the job in a traditional mode. The high schools complain, my principals from the primary school, that we are passing up the students and they cannot read. And it's frustrating them. And when they come to the high school, our high school teachers and principals, they want to lead a high school. They want to teach what they are prepared to teach. But when they look at the situation, they cannot move on.
The address by Dr. Kassan Troop signals a significant shift in educational leadership paradigms, emphasizing the need for principals to be not just administrators, but collaborative leaders. As schools strive for excellence, the partnership between principals and teachers remains a cornerstone of success. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
Still on education, controversy surrounds a decision made by the principal of the St. James High School, allegedly without consulting the board. 2 students were expelled due to a controversial video. It is understood one student is now attending a private institution with a percentage of the school fee being covered by the Ministry of Education, while the other remains at home, deeply affected by the video. Celine Campbell shares their story.
It was a kiss, or as the embattled student puts it, an experiment that caused 2 girls an expulsion from the St. James High School. The video-recorded incident happened on January 15, 2024. The video, which lasted for 3 seconds, was posted by one of the girls on her WhatsApp status. But that post later became her nightmare. CVM News spoke with the mothers of both students. We'll refer to them as Parent 1 and 2.
One day I was at work, I got a call to come by the school tomorrow morning because your daughter was seen on a video kissing another. Kissing. That was it, kissing. But I thought that it was a guy, right?
The principal called us in the office. When they were talking, he said to me that if we are the parents for these 2 children, we have to find school put in. So I said, so why? You know why the man asked me to school? Secondly, he said that what happened me and my daughter here, and you know why the man asked me to my daughter.
But Chairman of the school board, Christopher McCurdy, says the board did not authorize the expulsion.
The education regulation of 1980 stipulates that any expulsion from a school must be done by the board. So it's a board decision whether or not a child is going to be expelled from a school. I will say to you that to date, the board has not received any information regarding an expulsion nor suspension of any child.
Both parents allege this was the girls' first offense. They made it clear they're no longer asking for the girls to return to the institution, but they are condemning the handling of the matter.
She said, Mommy, I know myself and I am not gay. We were experimenting. This was her first offense at the school. And I think that if it offended the school, it was the responsibility of the school to call us in, give the children counseling or something, and then if you want to give them a suspension, fine.
She's at home, not coping well. Based on my experience, I decided to let her stay home.
The Ministry of Education on Tuesday says it's awaiting findings from the school's board. The board is scheduled to meet on Thursday, April 25. Celine Campbell for CVM News.
Amidst the struggle for a drop of relief, the authorities say they remain steadfast in the mission to tackle Negril and the wider Western region's water crisis. Here's Ronaldo Adams with more.
Negril is parched, its residents and businesses thirsting for relief as the water crisis hits hard, exacerbated by the relentless drought. In the heat of the frustration, the minister responsible for water, Senator Matthew Samuda, acknowledges the agony felt by the local stakeholders, but affirms that the government is pumping investments into the western region to alleviate some of the pressure.
Each member of parliament in Western Jamaica, by way of Hanover and Westmoreland, has $4 million at their disposal to direct trucking. We have also made available to citizens, to the parish councils, $7.5 million to Hanover and $5 million to Westmoreland as well. We would have made some $30 million available to the Water Commission at the end of February.
He also promises a flood of investments to overhaul the region's infrastructure.
As well as the line pretty much from Rossies into Negril. We expect this pipeline replacement work to start this calendar year. We will invest some $70 million in these pipelines to replace these. Now that will deal with two issues that we currently have. One, the fact that these pipelines leak profusely. The other issue that it will resolve is the fact that the line from Rossies into Negril now is simply too small.
Meanwhile, acting president of the National Water Commission, NWC, Kevin Carr, reveals plans for long-term measures to tackle the water deficit.
We spoke about it decades ago, which is the construct a new water treatment plant in Roan River, Westmoreland. We are already advanced in our procurement activity to conduct a island-wide non-revenue water reduction project. This means we will address the efficiencies of the NWC to minimize leaks. So in period of drought, we have additional capacity to meet your needs.
Principal Director of the Meteorological Service of Jamaica, Evan Thompson, says residents should expect an extended dry period.
As we move into May and into June, we do expect an increase in rainfall. And there on this chart, we see that the western end of the island is likely to remain brown for a little bit longer than the rest of the country because of the climate patterns that are expected to be developing. We do expect that we will see the change occurring in the central and eastern parishes a bit before we start to see it in the west.
Ronaldo Adams, CVM News.
Please stay with us. When we come back, it'll be time for our business segment.
Under the sun, you deserve the best. You are number one. Best. Flame grilling, juicy whopper, cause you deserve it. Yeah, next level, awesome. That's how we serve. Mama menu done your way. Got to taste rules every day. Flame grilled goodness, you deserve it. Great taste, well done. More flavor, fresh Burger King, best tasting burger under the sun.
As a civil servant, we know that making the most of what you earn matters. It is why at the Public Sector Employees Cooperative Credit Union Limited, we give you better rates and less fees. Up to 10 times your share in unsecured loans, up to 2.5 million in unsecured loans, and up to 8% on your savings and investments. We will be with you every step of the way. If you are a public sector worker, become a member today and let us help you move your financial life forward.
You deserve more than just a car. Embrace a new standard of luxury with a 2025 GWM Haval at 2024 prices. Elevate your driving experience with our sleek designs and intelligent safety, crafted for you to go with more. 2 free payments, 1 year free insurance, free petrol, 3-year service, 6 years warranty, and you guessed it, more. Offer valid at Stewart's Automotive Group, South Camp Road, Kingston, and Iron Shore, Mo Bay. Hurry, follow GWM Jamaica's conditions apply.
Good evening and welcome to the Business Report. I'm Andrew Laidley.
Now, Wickton Wind Farm has announced organizational changes and appointments effective May 6, 2024. Gary Barrow will head the executive of the company as the new CEO. Michelle Chin Len will be deputy CEO. Her previous position as head of energy will be dispensed. Now, the board of directors of Wickton is of the view that these changes, and specifically the appointment of CEO Gary Barrow following a successful recruitment process, will further allow the company to fully realize its vision of being a profitable regional conglomerate with successful clean energy and other investments. Barrow also takes the lead when Wickton is leading the charge for new investments to deliver a more diversified energy portfolio and growth agenda. Now, the University of the West Indies, Mona, is hoping to rake in about $100 million more each year following planned renovations to its college commons. Pro-Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal Denzel Williams made the announcement while acknowledging that the renovation is one of the strategies being used to rescue the cash-strapped institution. The University of the West Indies looking for new ways to improve its financial position and stumbling upon an untapped gold mine, the UWI College Commons. From the outset, it doesn't appear to be much, but according to Campus Principal Denzel Williams, College Commons is a multi-million-dollar cash cow waiting to be exploited.
We're very pleased with our estate management division, which have taken full control of this particular project, recognizing where there are gaps in terms of the revenue potential and capabilities for our college common properties. And having done that, they have presented to the executive management the potential for making significant amount of monies to the tune of roughly about $100 million annually when all of this is done.
He says studies have proven that the redevelopment project is sound and will deliver strong returns.
I'm very pleased that we did not waste time in thinking through this, but we actually approached it in a very scientific way, mobilized the resources, and today we are here to execute.
In the meantime, he urged the contractors to operate efficiently, pointing out that project overruns and unnecessary spending will cost the university dearly.
I'm imploring you, as our contractors, to take this project as the beginning of many more things to come on our campus. And so you will deliver, and you will deliver with the greatest level of efficiency. Efficiency in terms of timeliness of delivery, efficiency in terms of the use of your resources, efficiency in terms of management of the cost of doing this thing. And most importantly, you will deliver an output that is at a world-class quality.
The first phase of the revitalization of the housing stock at UWI College Commons is slated to be completed by June this year. Some good news now for motorists. Gas prices are going down tomorrow. A litre of 87 and 90 gasoline will go for $1.06 less. Automotive diesel is down $1.81 and ultra-low sulfur diesel will cost $1.93 less per litre. Now, of course, retailers will add their respective markups to these prices. And that's your business report. Up next is your market summary. Do stay tuned for more CVM News at 7 with Curlin and Stephen after the break.